Hello, my friends. Today's date is March the 1st, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a 4 card pull for the year to follow, a general energy card, something that might sustain through the year's energy, or something that might punctuate it to make you look at it and make you work. Then there's a particular challenge you face this year and a particular action you can take to stay in balance, and then an outcome or synopsis card. This is the general energy card of the year, and it is the Judge. And the Judge asks us to reflect upon that critical part of ourselves that is the judge, that is the decider, that is the giver, the one that is looking for safety and justice and fairness and equality in their highest regards, and in their lowest regards, looking at life through a smallness, a rigidity, a fear-based energy that can be harshly critical and negative and not based on fairness. So this is all about where your heart is in the things that you're coming up against. Are you judging things harshly and not being able to hear other people's sides? Are you judging things harshly and not be able to give yourself some ease and some grace? Are you judging others and yourself harshly, not being able to give yourself some forgiveness and some honor and some respect? On the other side of that, have you become an advocate? Are you becoming an advocate for some kind of fairness? Are you becoming, a giver of love? Are you extending forgiveness in the directions that need forgiveness so that everybody can find a place? Are you listening deeply and honestly hearing what another side has to offer, to understand what their side comes from, so everything is not just so cut and dried? Nothing is ever really cut and dried. There's a lot more nuance to things. There's a lot more feelings underneath things. And the Judge is here to talk to you this year about how you approach things. Maybe you're coming up against a judge and you're getting to understand what the fairness of human law is versus the fairness of spiritual law. And all those things are something that works at you this year for you to try to find your right balance of equilibrium in your mind and in your heart and in your soul. So this is your particular challenge this year, is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is all about intuition. The High Priestess is all about hearing the emotional pain of yourself or others and listening to it deeply and honoring that the wounded child is often not a mean-spirited, dangerous kind of being, and to hide that child away, and to hide away that child's pains, and to hide away that child's inhibitions and fears, is to not honor the child. And when we honor that child in ourselves, in others, do we come to a place of greater compassion? Do we come to a place of greater understanding? Do we come to a place of forgiveness and overcoming and transcending the pains that self and others might have? So that's your challenge, is to listen to your emotions, to hear your own wounded child in reflection of another. It's to open your heart and to hear with a sense of connection, sacred connection to another human being, that I need to hear you because I need to respect you as another human being who has, a life, their own troubles, their own situations, their own philosophies, and how can I bridge that gap and come to it with a sense of compassion? That's the other side of the High Priestess, is learning about how to be compassionate to those who live out of their fear and live out of their pain and don't necessarily know how to climb out of them. So this is your challenge, to step into that role of a high witness, as a holy witness, a sacred witness, a sacred giver of your intuition. It's also, the High Priest is one who understands about surrender, about letting go, about death and rebirth, about allowing things to move and change and become what they need to be for the highest and the holiest of them. So if you can't find this place of allowance this year, if you can't find this place of hearing your own intuition about what needs to be served, what needs to be said, what needs to be listened to, what needs to be let go of, what needs to be cleansed out of your own system, out of somebody else's system, in order for them and you to heal, then that's your challenge. And that's where the supercritical judge or the open judge is going to come into effect. Are you going to allow yourself to not judge yourself and to go deeper into something that feels emotionally painful, so you can really find the root of why you can't find a way to forgive, or why you can't find a way to go forward, or why you can't step through your own fear and your own anger and your own resentments and your own challenges in order to come to a more balanced look at things and not be acting out of your own victimization or your own self-righteousness or your own fear-based instincts. Can you step into that higher realm of a holy high priestess who understands on deep levels what is actually going on with somebody, and can feel them, including yourself, on those deepest of emotional levels that calls forward a sense of compassion, a sense of love, and a sense of forgiveness, and a sense of honoring for the pains that it takes to become human and live as human in this world. So what's the action you need to do is frog energy. Frog is all about cleansing. Frog is about doing those things that give you peace, that give you ease, that give you relaxation, that give you bring you in touch with that wounded child within you, in a sense of grace and a sense of love and a sense of wanting to bring some healing to it. Maybe this is about meeting a healer, working with a healer who can take you down into your emotional challenges. The frog is good on both water and on earth. The frog is good in the physical realm of creation, but also good in the emotional realm of healing. The frog is the medicine people. Many medicine people from many tribes used frog in their medicine, put them in their mouth, and then blow the water, take them out and blow the water and juices from the frog on somebody. Put them in your hands and use the frog as a vehicle for transformation for somebody. Frog medicines, frog antidotes have been given forever. Frogs were actually once put into milk to keep milk fresh, and there's something in the enzyme of frogs that allowed the milk to stay safe even if it was out in the open. There's a lot of power in frogs, and frogs are asking you this year to go into that place where the frog sits on a lily pad to dry off and to catch its dinner if it feels like it's gotten too wet and it needs to eat. But if the frog gets in the water, if it gets too dry, so that it keeps itself wet and moist, it understands the needs between the emotions and the intellect. It understands the needs between the body and the will and the water and the flow of things. So the frog is saying, you have to come into your emotions. You have to come into your high priestess center. You have to come into your inner, deeper knowing, so that you can do the forgiveness work on yourself, so that you can do the forgiveness work with others, and you don't stay small to yourself and see things in a limited way that don't allow the expansion of love and forgiveness and compassion for yourself and others. You want that in your life, and why wouldn't you want to promote that for others? You really do. That's one of the part of this healing process, is learning that you really don't want to fight with others, and you don't want to give negative responses, and you don't want to be unfair and unjust. You want to be an advocate for the healthiness of people and the wholeness of people and the fairness to bring the right action to situations, decisive actions, not judgmental actions, but decisive actions. Clarity merged with both intuition and intellect. And then do you open your own vision? Do you open your own sacred vision? Do you let flower the growth of change and the growth of humanity and the growth of awareness in the greatest possible pictures possible? So, and you can climb out of the sense of human law and back into spiritual law, the law that sees things in the brighter, broader sense. It says we are all in this together. We all need some support. We all need some advocacy for our healing. We all need some advocacy for our right to live and love and be who we are to our most authentic selves. And as long as we're not hurting others, then we can go forward and we can practice forward. And I think that's the ultimate judge, is when you hurt others, then you recognize there's something that needs to be done. But if you're not hurting others, you recognize there's just a love that needs to be extended. And there's always a love that needs to be extended. So that, I think, is really what this is all about. Finding your heart, finding your emotional balance, finding your intuition, surrendering to bigger pictures and more honest humanitarian understandings, and becoming a judge that is Solomonic, that is wise, in order to bring justice and fairness and equality and advocacy to situations and peoples who need something more wise to be brought to them in order for them to do their healing and in order for you to do your healing. Ahom Takoyasin.